TMCnet at NextCom 2008.
Good afternoon, welcome again. Erik Linask coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada at the NextCom 2008 show. I'm here now with Chief Marketing Officer for NextPoint Networks, Mark Pugerude. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Erik. Appreciate that.
To start off with, how about can you tell me a little bit about who is NextPoint Networks?
Sure, absolutely. So NextPoint Networks is a technology company. We're headquartered in Gaithersburg, Maryland. We are focused on both fixed line and wireline network technologies, but primarily now we're really focused on mobility. So we have both a technology platform that focuses on mobile networks, so we can talk about a little bit about companies that really have requirements for mobility, IP mobility, and also for femtocells and wireless LAN type of implementations. So we really run the gamut of both wireless LAN, femto, IWLAN type services. We're a worldwide company. We have distribution partners all across the world with Alcatel, Lucent, Samsung, Nokia, Siemens, and others. And we're primarily funded by the private equity arm of JP Morgan, which is One Equity Partners. So we focused, they really are discerning investors looking at tier one operators, both on the wireless and wireline side, and that's where we tend to focus our efforts.
Great. Why the focus on mobility today, and how does the whole fixed mobile convergence question work into that?
Well, let me tell you a little bit about how we define mobility, right? So mobile wireless networks are really where a lot of the growth is in the technology space. Fixed line assets and operators have started to see their business kind of plateau off a little bit and become a little more flat. The adoption for technology companies now, or for service operators to have fixed line assets that are VoIP enabled or IP enabled, has certainly seen its growth over the last 3 or 4 years. Now where the technology growth has all been in the wireless side. Having a wireless device that's both for mobile, for data, for IM presence, is where a lot of the operators are really starting to see where their additional revenue opportunities are. So as a company, we took our wireline assets and our knowledge, coupled that with also our mobility expertise, combined them into a single product category that was really focused on the wireless operators. So, the reason being primarily, capital expenditures in that sector are tremendously high. The market opportunity is big, and quite frankly, there's billions of potential users versus hundreds of millions.
Great. Now, you're also today announcing something around mobility, aren't you?
Yes. So we made a press release announcement today about our creation of the Mobility Development Center. It's a virtual center, essentially, that's worldwide network of partners and ecosystem partners that will enable us to facilitate a development effort that far outpaces our competition. In our real-world trials that we've done right now today and our real-world implementations of our networks, we have seen that through our operational experience and history, it is very difficult to keep pace with all the changes that are in the networking, in the mobility networking sector right now today. So what we did was we built this basically virtual center where we have our architects, our patent holders, our expertise of our network development, our technology development center for NextPoint, and then we've leveraged that with other suppliers that are out there in the market. And our first effort that we actually had was with a company called Global Logic. They have a network of engineers that are all throughout the world, primarily in Europe and India. And we were able to leverage their 250 or so mobility engineers coupled with our network architects and engineers in Billerica in Gaithersburg, Maryland, Billerica, Massachusetts, and Gaithersburg, Maryland, then develop a worldwide network of development that really accelerates the development effort for our company. Our operators, quite frankly, are asking for very demanding technology development efforts, and if you don't have the backing, the scale, and the performance of your engineers behind the scenes, it's hard to really keep pace in this aggressive market.
And you've said that, in terms of the whole fixed mobile convergence scenario, there's still an awful lot of development that needs to happen. That thinking's a little bit different from some of the other players in the market, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I'll tell you what, there's another interesting dynamic that's happening in fixed mobile convergence. people want to leverage their existing equipment that they have right now today as much as possible, but then they want to have this network evolution and investment protection going forward. So some of the development effort is really taking legacy systems or older systems and figuring out how to adapt those into new technology and to morph those along the technology development path. And by having a network of partners in our mobile development center, we're able to see, we're able to leverage older technology, morph it into newer opportunities, and then be able to grab more market share as part of that whole effort. I mean, our effort really, quite frankly, is to satisfy the demands of these operators, and they really got to leverage all their network infrastructure as much as humanly possible. And if you don't give them the tools to do that, then they can't they can't be successful in the market unless we're not, we wouldn't be a very good technology company. So you got to think a couple of chess moves ahead to help them out.
So ultimately, what's the goal of the mobile development center?
Yeah.
What do you see the end result being?
So that's a great question. Our end result really is that we would have then an acceleration, basically a product development factory that's worldwide, that's virtual. So we'd be able to have from the concept and assessment of a new product idea to the design, the development, and launch, all within a very compressed time frame. So when you think about a new product offering that comes out right now, you have an 18-month development cycle before you're actually out into the carriers and the operators network. Then you have another 6 months or so really before you really operationalize that inside of an operator's network. So that's a 24-month cycle. If you can compress that by half, what you're basically doing is getting the revenue quicker, solving the operator's problems faster, and ultimately making end user customers happier with new technology faster and quicker. So it's really about scale and speed in our mobility development center. We want to accelerate, press on the gas, as we like to say, from a development perspective, while not, outspending our ability to make the money on the back end. So it's a significant commitment by our company. We're doing a multi-year, multi-million-dollar effort on this development center. So it's something we feel really strongly about.
Fantastic. We've been talking to Mark Pugerude from NextPoint Networks. Thanks for joining us this afternoon, Mark. For more information on fixed mobile convergence and the Mobile Development Center, be sure to stop in and visit NextPoint.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Eric. Thanks.